Advanced Engineering Physics. Unit 2. Quantum Mechanics. Electrons in a periodic potential. Band theory. In the previous topic, we studied free electrons and particles confined inside a box. However, electrons in a real solid are not free. They move in the presence of a periodic array of positively charged ion cores, which creates a periodic potential energy throughout the crystal. A natural question arises. If a crystal contains billions of ions, why do electrons not collide with every ion and stop moving? The answer is provided by Bloch's theorem. According to Bloch's theorem, the wave function of an electron moving in a periodic potential is not an arbitrary function, but has a special form. It is the product of a plane wave and another function that possesses exactly the same periodicity as the crystal lattice. Mathematically, the wave function is written as pi k of r equals uk of r multiplied by exponential of ik dot r, where uk of r is periodic and satisfies the condition uk of r equals uk of r plus t for any lattice translation vector t. This means that the electron behaves like a free matter wave whose amplitude is modulated by the repeating atomic arrangement. Because of this periodicity, electrons can propagate through a crystal without being scattered by every individual ion, making electrical conduction possible. To understand the consequences of a periodic potential more clearly, physicists developed the Kronig-Penney model. In this model, the complicated potential produced by the atoms is replaced by a simplified periodic array of square wells and barriers. Although idealized, this model captures the essential physics of electrons in solids. By solving Schrödinger's equation using Bloch's theorem and applying the boundary conditions that the wave function and its derivative remain continuous, one obtains a transcendental equation relating the electron energy and wave number. An important feature of this equation is that the right side contains cosine of Ka, whose values are restricted between -1 and +1. As a result, the equation has solutions only for specific ranges of energy. These allowed ranges are called energy bands, while the ranges of energy where no solutions exist are called forbidden energy gaps or band gaps. When energy is plotted against the wave vector k, the resulting E-Pay diagram clearly shows these allowed and forbidden regions. The energy gaps occur at special points called Brillouin zone boundaries, corresponding to values such as Ka equals plus or minus pi, plus or minus 2 pi, and so on. The physical origin of these energy gaps lies in the phenomenon of Bragg reflection. At the Brillouin zone boundary, the wavelength of the electron wave satisfies the condition for Bragg diffraction by the periodic lattice. Consequently, an electron wave moving to the right is strongly reflected toward the left, while a left-moving wave is reflected toward the right. The forward and reflected waves have equal amplitudes and combine to form standing waves. Two different standing waves are possible. One is proportional to cosine of pi x divided by a, and the other is proportional to sine of pi x divided by a. The probability density, which is equal to the square of the wave function, determines where the electron is most likely to be found. For the cosine standing wave, the electron density accumulates near the positively charged ion cores. Since opposite charges attract, this arrangement lowers the electrostatic potential energy. For the sine standing wave, the electron density is concentrated in the spaces between the ion cores, producing a higher potential energy. Therefore, the two standing waves have different energies, and the difference between these energies creates the forbidden energy gap, denoted by Eg. Thus, energy bands and band gaps arise naturally from the interaction of electron waves with the periodic crystal lattice. Another important concept in band theory is the effective mass of an electron. In free space, an electron always behaves as if its mass is equal to its rest mass. However, inside a crystal, the electron is simultaneously influenced by the external electric field and the internal periodic potential of the lattice. Therefore, it behaves as if it possesses a different mass known as the effective mass, represented by m star. The motion of an electron wave packet is characterized by its group velocity, which is given by 1 by h cross multiplied by d epsilon by dk, where epsilon is the electron energy. Using the work-energy theorem and differentiating the group velocity with respect to time, we find that the acceleration of the electron is proportional to the second derivative of energy with respect to k. Comparing this result with Newton's second law leads to the expression m star equals h cross square divided by d square, epsilon by dk square. This formula shows that the effective mass depends entirely on the curvature of the EK diagram. Near the bottom of an energy band, the curvature is positive, giving a positive effective mass. Near the top of a band, however, the curvature becomes negative, resulting in a negative effective mass. Physically, this means that when an external force pushes the electron in one direction, the group velocity may decrease instead of increasing because of strong Bragg reflection from the lattice. Thus, the electron behaves as though it has a negative mass, an effect that is extremely important in semiconductor physics. Band theory also provides a simple and elegant classification of solids based on the occupation of energy bands. In insulators, the valence band is completely filled and is separated from the next higher empty band by a large forbidden energy gap. Since there are no nearby empty states available, electrons cannot gain energy from an electric field, and electrical conduction is impossible. Semiconductors have a similar arrangement, but the energy gap is much smaller. At absolute zero, they behave like insulators, but at ordinary temperatures, some electrons gain enough thermal energy to jump across the gap into the conduction band, leaving behind positively charged holes in the valence band. Both electrons and holes contribute to electrical conduction. Metals, on the other hand, possess partially filled energy bands. Since many nearby empty states are available, electrons can easily gain momentum from an applied electric field, making metals excellent conductors of electricity. Finally, semimetals are materials in which the conduction band and valence band overlap slightly in energy. As a result, even at absolute zero, a small number of electrons occupy the conduction band, while an equal number of holes remain in the valence band, giving rise to limited electrical conductivity. In summary, Bloch's theorem explains how electrons propagate through a periodic crystal lattice. The Kronig-Penney model demonstrates the formation of allowed energy bands and forbidden band gaps. Bragg reflection and standing waves provide the physical origin of these gaps. The concept of effective mass describes how electrons respond to external forces inside a crystal, and the arrangement of energy bands allows solids to be classified as insulators, semiconductors, metals, and semimetals. Together, these ideas form the foundation of modern band theory and explain the electrical behavior of almost all solid materials.